I'm Mike Levin.
I'm Douglas Dillard.
I'm Alfred Fehab.
I'm John Schaffner.
I was born in a small village in Nebraska.
I see you found
I'm a product of the Depression period.
box of my things, infantry's tanks and smoldering airplane wings.
I found myself on the high seas, headed for Battle of the
These
Bulge.
old pictures are cool, tell me some stories. Was it like the old war movies? Sit down, son, let me fill you in.
Early morning of the 16th, when the shelling began.
Where to begin? Let's start with the end. This black and white photo don't capture the skin.
You could see hundreds of
From
Germans.
the flash of a gun to a soldier who's done. Trust me, grandson, the war was in color.
When I tell war stories, I don't like to talk about the dead and wounded and stuff like that. I tell interesting stories, like when I got assigned to the 7th Armored Division I joined them in Verviers, Belgium, which is not far from Liège, in St. Vith. I joined this outfit, and the first thing I knew, someone said, "Are you Lieutenant Levin? The quartermaster's looking for you." Quartermaster? What does the quartermaster do, and what is he looking for me for? Well, I went and found him and reported. He didn't know what was going to happen to me. He says, "Are you Lieutenant Levin?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Well, here's your liquor ration. I can't keep carrying it around. You gotta take it." So, I had just gotten out of OCS. Nobody told me anything about a liquor ration in warfare, and I'm about to go into battle.
We never had problems. We would send a couple of people back to Reims to pick up our liquor ration.
From a British place, wasn't it?
No, this one was American, and I would get assigned to me 5 bottles of liquor, and I'm a teetotaler. So I gave them to my platoon sergeant. I told him, parcel it out, but I don't want anyone around here getting drunk. If they get drunk, they're in trouble.
And you guys, being officers, you really had it good. That's all I can say.
Oh, we did. I mean, you haven't any idea. Get the hell out of here.
My unit story is a little different, and you mentioned training and what had happened in 1942 November when I finished parachute school. This is early days of the organization of the airborne units. They called paratrooper units at that time, but we didn't know it. But we shipped out, and we were not told where we were going, and once we were at sea, then we knew. But the interesting thing is that many of us, when we qualified to go to the parachute school out at Camp Walters, we went downtown, and in our youthful and exuberance, we had tattoos. I still have mine. It was a parachute. So we're now at Fort Benning in this cadre group, and the medical officer comes in and says, "Okay, everybody strip down and put on your raincoat," which means you have nothing on but your raincoat. And I'll be back in a few minutes. So pretty soon he comes back, says, "Okay, take off your raincoats." Going through, say, "You on the truck, you on the truck." It was because of these stupid tattoos. Because we were going overseas as a parachute unit, and the fear was that the unit would be compromised with all these idiots with these stupid tattoos. So we had to go down to Columbus, Georgia, and line up at the tattoo parlor and have them covered. So they put an eagle over mine, And one guy was stupid enough to have a big parachute put on his chest, so he was scabby for a couple of weeks after that. We were supposed to go to Anzio, but instead we went to Sicily because the airborne task force was being put together to jump into southern France, which we did on August the 15th. Finished the campaign of 1944. Our mission then, after the 7th Army moved up the Rhone Valley to northern France, task force moved along the French coast to the Italian border. Our mission there finished in October, late October. We were relieved by the Nisi 442 regiment from the Japanese Americans. They replaced us in the Alps. We withdrew, took trains up to northern France, and were there waiting for winter gear and clothing because we're still wearing, some guys with their cotton jumpsuits, a wool shirt and trousers, leather jump boots, and then the Bulge happened.
I was sent to Europe as a replacement officer, and I was assigned to the 38th Cavalry Reconnaissance Squadron, part of the 102nd Group. The 38th had quite a history. It's called the Lucky 38th. It was the first American unit into Paris to cross into Germany on in the First Army front. And what we did a great deal of dismounted patrolling in Akershad, Malmedy, Stavelot, St. Vith, all those places. They had us out every day, half the time at night, on ambush patrol. On my first patrol, I decided I was going to lead it. Now, I know you don't do that, but I wanted to see what it was like. And I had a Tommy gun, and I stepped in this fire lane. This is in Belgium, and there was a German soldier standing there. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he started to raise his rifle. And this finger squeezed the trigger on the Tommy gun. I didn't. The finger was trained. So anyway, Mac, my platoon sergeant, came up, and we searched this fellow, and I pulled out of his pocket a picture of a woman and two little girls. I killed a lot of Germans after that, but that has stayed. All I could think was, I killed the father of these two little kids and that woman's husband. And that stayed. The Bulge broke on us was the bombardment. They just blew the hell out of everything. And they had air up. And they had a battalion of paratroopers. Von der Heit was the leader. But we were at Monschau, Eupen Corps headquarters, 20 miles behind. They were picking up some of the paratroopers. That was the most disjointed thing. And I didn't have any trouble getting lads to go out and hunt them up because every one of them had a bottle of rum. I imagine, did any of you run into the 106? No, you were further down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were down there.
But that was that jump. That was unbelievable.
We went overseas kind of half trained, and when we went up to the line on December the 10th, we replaced the 2nd Infantry Division that was on the line, and it was spread out like 22 miles. So here, the 99th Division was green. We had 22-mile front. We're green. 28th Division was south of us, and they had just taken a licking up in the Hurtgen Forest, so they were full of replacements as well. And it was an ideal spot for Adolf to mount his attack. When we went into the line and replaced the 2nd Infantry Division, they had been there for some time, nice quiet front, and they had really improved their living conditions. As As we approached that area, when it was a nice cold night, snow drifting down, I'm thinking, where am I going to pitch my pup tent? You know, well, thank goodness I didn't have to pitch the
How
pup
much snow did you have on the ground?
Well, it wasn't all that much, 6, 8 inches maybe.
You know, that's an interesting point, because when you ask people that were in the Battle of the Bulge how much snow that was on the ground, you get varying answers.
Yeah, it depends on where you were. We were there like the 10th, 11th, 12th. Nothing was happening. Once in a while you hear an artillery round go off. That was it. But the division, of course, was situated on what they called strong points, which, of course, were not all that strong, and they were few and far between, so the Germans had no trouble at all surrounding. I was on an outpost. Nice place to be. We had a 50 caliber machine gun in a shallow pit on a tripod, and a telephone to wire back to the command post. And I was out there the night, or the early morning of the 16th, and when the shelling began, the artillery rounds were falling all over the place, hitting in the trees and hitting in the ground, and it was a lot of duds, believe it or not. It just goes smack in the ground. They were good ones. After this barrage was over, which probably took about, it seemed like all day, but it was probably about a half hour, I wasn't hit. I had crawled into my helmet, legs and all.